Good afternoon, Braden and Hayden. Uh, my name is Jessica Peterson from Peterson SEO, and I spoke with Emma earlier, and she thought you guys definitely were going to need to check this out. So today I'm going to walk you through 3 tips you guys can start applying right away, and it's really going to help you guys get more of the organic jobs every single month when you apply these tips. So we're going to talk about content, citations, and backlinks. But because content and your website is so important, it's going to take so much time. I'm going to first go with the customer, where the customers start, and then we'll come back to the website. Okay. So the customer's journey starts on Google. Okay. When they need your service, they don't know who you are, what your business name is. So that's not what they're searching. They're searching for your local keywords for their services. So your business needs to show up where your customers are actively searching. Okay, so on the first page of Google, there are 3 separate sections that your business has the opportunity to dominate that space. Okay, the first section is your Google ads. So this is going to be your cost to click ads as well as your local service ads. But honestly, only about 10% of people actually click through on those ads. The next section is even more critical. This section is your Google Business Profile section. Some people call it the map pack. So your goal here is to be in the top 3 of this section for your keywords for each of your services, because nearly 30% of people come straight to the maps and will not go anywhere else. So when you're not one of these top 3 businesses, you're leaving money on the table and you're sending all of those jobs to your competition. Now, there are several factors that go into ranking this. This is not something you want to just create, set, and forget. You have to be actively working on this, optimizing this every single month. Okay, now in order to get into the top 3, there are a number of factors, but the most important factor is something called citations. And citations are simply directory listings. It's listings of the name of the business, the address, the phone number, and the website in a bunch of directories like Yellow Pages, Yelp, Glassdoor, Better Business Bureau, and even your social media profiles are citations. Citations are extremely important. The more citations you have, the more of your information is spread out throughout the internet, and the more signals it sends to Google about who you are and what you do. And so that is important for Google to understand so they can put you in front of your customers. So you have to have a lot of those. You need to have more than your competition. According to Google statistics, the top 3 generally have at least 150 citations, or if you will, directory listings. And so since you're not in that top 3, you probably only have 50 or maybe even less citations. So you're going to have to triple those numbers so that you can get up here. Okay. And then the most important section is this section here. This is your organic section. You need your website to show up here for all of your services, not just the home page, but each service page and all the areas that you service. Because 60 to 70% of people will skip the ads, skip the maps, and come right here. So with you not being listed here, and not listed in the top 3 of the maps, you're losing a ton of jobs every single month. So how do you get in this top organic section? Well, that all comes back to your website, how your website is built, optimized, and the content. Okay? So, um, Google does not rank your website based on appearance. It is based on content. Content is key and you need a lot of it. Google sends crawlers through your website to try and understand who you are, what you do, and to put you in front of the right people. So without content, it cannot do that. And not just any content, it has to be the right type of content. So you need to have separate pages for every service. And it looks like you do have separate pages for that. So that's great. Google requires separate pages so that every page is specifically only addressing that one service, and all of the content is written around that service with those local keywords for that service. Okay? And you guys serve multiple areas. So you also need to have separate service area pages for each of these services. That way you can write content for every location, for every service, and come up in that organic section we just looked at when people are searching for your service in each of those areas. Okay. Congratulations, by the way, 4 years in a row voted best of Clark County. That's pretty awesome. Good job. Okay. And so this is your home page, the most important page of your website, and really it has no content whatsoever. This does not work. And even these projects, this is not going to work either. You have to have written content. You need at least 1,500 words of written content on your website on your homepage based around who you are and the services that you offer. Should be like little summaries of those services utilizing the keywords people are searching. Also understand that people search differently and there's multiple variations of keywords. You need to use and capitalize on those. You need 150 words for every keyword you're going to target. And each keyword needs a repetition of at least 3 times on that page to even get picked up to be indexed so you can rank for it. Okay? Let's look at your top competitor. Your top organic competitor in this area is Paul Davis. Yes, they are a franchise. But as with most franchises, franchisees usually cannot optimize their website. They can't define their keyword strategy and build their content around it. They pretty much get whatever they're given. And so, yes, you can actually beat franchises by just doing better. Having a content and keyword strategy dialed in, having more content than they have. These guys don't have a whole lot. So you do need more than they do, but you need a lot more than they do. And I also recommend always having a form and a click to call at the very top of every page. That will help you with conversions once you actually get people coming to your website. You can see that they have separate pages for each of their services, and then all of these locations have their own pages. So let's take a look at this tool. This is Ahrefs. It's a paid tool that tells us how your website performs. We can see here you have a rating of a 7 out of 100 in Google's Trust Flow, which isn't terrible, but also means Google still doesn't trust you guys. And that has some things to do with the content on your website, but more so the power you're sending to your website. Backlinks power your website. It sends power, it shows authority and says, hey, Google, you need to trust me. Okay, but not all backlinks are created equal. This is a popularity contest. You should only be getting the ones that are do follows related to your business or home service based businesses. So Could be plumbing, roofing, construction. It doesn't matter, just as long as it's related to what you're doing. You don't need ones from Dunkin' Donut, Pizza Hut, and the next, I don't know, fashion outlet, okay? Those that are unrelated are spammy and they will hurt your score. They hurt your power. And so you need to stay focused on the right type of links. So now a referring domain is any website that provides your site with a link from their site to your site. And the backlink's just that physical link. If you've ever been on a website page, saw that blue hyperlink and clicked on it and it took you to another page, those are backlinks. Okay. So if you think of your favorite tool, right? Your tool is not going to work without power. You have to plug that power tool into a power source. So when you plug it into a power source, that's like your referring domain. And that power source is sending power through that cord to your tool. And that cord is a backlink. So once it sends that power, your tool comes on and you can use your tool. It's the same concept for your website. You have to push that power continuously to build that authority and to have the power to be able to rank. Because you don't really have any content, you've only been indexed for 6 keywords, and you're getting 7 people to your website. So you're missing out on tons of jobs every month. And you did actually get indexed for a couple of fire keywords, but you are page 8 through 10. So you're missing out on a ton of jobs. You definitely need to work on these strategies. When we look at Paul Davis, we don't care how their whole website performs. You're not competing against the entire franchise, only the specific location. These locations can only work within certain zip codes. So you have a much wider area. They are doing some SEO and they got a high powered website. So combination of the backlinks and the power that the website already has is giving them a significant boost. They have been indexed for over 300 keywords for this location, and they're getting over 300 people to their website. And if we look beyond their branded keywords and we look at their actual service keywords, their local keywords, and they're ranking on the first page of Google. So they're getting that traffic. So now if you follow each of these tips I have provided you today, your website has the opportunity to be at the top of Google and start dominating in some of these areas. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd be glad to chat. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.